Yes, a painting.
I have no idea. I really have no idea. It's just a few.
We need 5 minutes, basically.
All right, there's also that.
Yeah.
On a meeting order, special call meeting, September 27th. Time is 5:33. We have Rudy and Francesca en route. Stuck in traffic and inclement weather.
Did you hear from anybody else or?
No. So I think we should take a minute to review, I think, well, I mean, you have memorized, I'm sure. Any comments? You read the.
Mhm.
The thing, so we can have a discussion.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss, we just gonna take a vote, so, one, and it's something I guess we need to, you can reach out to town manager, or have a budget. It was
Yes,
approved yesterday.
Yes, there was a budget approved yesterday,
It's effective.
7,500, I believe, October 1st.
Effective October 1st, so my question is, assuming we vote today. And we approve how many people and the budget. Like, effective October 1st, we can go ahead and how does that, we never had a budget for, so. We don't have to go to the council now and say, hey, please give us this money.
No,
Do we have to go to council and say, hey, please approve this trip?
no.
No,
The budget's
Yeah,
meant
the
for
budget
travel.
was for you guys.
Right. So, so basically, assuming we can get two people here, we can vote and approve the trip. On October 1st, I can speak to you, we can go ahead and.
Yeah.
Spend.
Yeah, as long as you guys approve it as a board, you're.
Okay, that makes things a lot easier.
yeah.
That's why having a budget's nice.
I got several people calling me last night. My fear is if it's not enough, if it gets to committee, a bill gets to committee, we basically have 24 hours to get
To get that money.
to go speak. So although monies are allocated, we may be short-lived because the intent is to go twice. The two half sessions, if you will.
Right.
So I was advised that the 7,500 allows us to take care, to do what we can with that. If more money is needed, then we will request it as we did before.
Right, so our original proposed budget was like 12,000,
Right.
something like that. I believe that one, if it went to committee, when we had our opportunity to go. That I don't think the council would have a big issue with us
I agree.
having then have more money, because then if it gets through committee, obviously we have to go and figure out when to go for vote. I just don't see, I don't think we would have too much fight over.
No, but I'm just putting on the table so everybody's aware.
And I've always, before we had the budget, I've always been in the position that if we have the potential to get to committee.
We'll front it.
Front and drive out there, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing all this effort.
Right, I wouldn't, the last thing I
It's
would,
personal now.
right, the last thing I'd be worried about is that.
Oh, sorry.
I mean.
No,
So, I guess the question for you is, what's your availability? Are you able to make it?
Yeah, I'm gonna, the 13th to the 15th, I'll make it.
Okay, so there's three of us. I think Rudy was in, so that would be
Rudy was in.
four.
yeah.
So you see the numbers here before, airfare is surprisingly pretty good right now. Especially with those like 2 night flights, if we wanted to take like the 6 p.m. flight, it goes up like $300 or something.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that you put a real late flight.
well, 2 reasons, right? I don't like it, but one, it allows us to be able to have a normal day at work and stuff
Right.
that Monday. And then 2, I'll look at it again before we book. There's a 6 p.m., which personally I like better because then you get in, you got dinner, and relax, and then not have to get into a hotel room at like 1:30, have to wake up, 6:30 next day. But the cost was significant.
The big issue, my fear, like what we
Rental
had
car.
last time was the rental car. Rental car
So-
closes at midnight
Right.
and you
So-
land at midnight.
So typically, the rental car agencies know that there's a
Right.
flight that comes in every day, and usually at these airports. A lot of flights come in later tonight because then the plane goes out in the morning. So usually they're open like they were last time, right? So what I would do is I would call the agency ahead of time. They usually say, just put in your flight
If
information,
the flight was delayed or.
some of them will be there. Worst case scenario, honestly,
Right.
get an Uber, a taxi. The hotel I have here
Right.
is also like a 10-minute, not even a 10-minute drive to the Capitol.
Yeah.
I looked at the hotels near the Capitol. One of them is actually not that much more But it's still like $40-50 more a night, so I think
It's
this
fine.
one's fine.
I mean, what we did, it's the same hotel we got last time.
Yeah, for the last trip, correct.
So that's fine.
I mean, if you look, because then you would still need transport to and from the hotel, you know, so it
It's
really
not
doesn't
really
make
away.
it.
Are you been to Tallahassee?
No,
It's a pretty small town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very small town. The airport is a runway.
So, and then car rental, you know, for 4 people, we just get a standard car, we don't get an SUV.
Right.
And that's it. I did the per diem, $50 per person. Obviously, there's limitations there. This hotel comes with breakfast, we don't have to worry about that. And that's, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward, easy budget. It's not a lot of money. And the only open question I had was how much money we want for materials.
While you guys think of that, one thing I wanted to mention, you guys have seen it, because I know you've done the expense report, and you'll see it once I send it out. Under the expense report, although you guys are technically not given an amount from council, I would tell you to try to stick to what's on that expense report. Because that's what we follow as guidelines.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
the meals and all that.
Yeah,
It's a state mandated amount, so you know, and that is like a statutory limit of what can be paid per meal and how to pay it. It doesn't include tips.
this is very familiar to my industry. It's just the same. I'm used to
Okay,
the itemized receipt or whatever.
Yeah.
and I gotta stay within the budget, of course.
Right.
Got it.
So it's very straightforward. You know, once we get approval and once, I guess we have to do it after October 1st, right?
Yeah.
I would do Val, go ahead and book the flights and get all your guys' information.
It's gonna be us 3 and Rudy.
I believe Rudy said he would go.
Rudy said he was going, so,
Yeah.
and I think I'm personally more comfortable going with 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4, I think it's a good number.
Yeah.
You know, in session, maybe it makes sense to have 2 more people because when they're in session, everyone's there.
Right.
And, you know, I think the max we should have, you know, 4 people is the max for a meeting. If we need, we can definitely tell the lobbyists we're happy to do split 2 and 2 for meetings, to get as many meetings prepared, you know, set meetings as possible. And whenever we don't have a set meeting, we go out with 4, go out 2 and 2, we just basically knock on doors.
Right.
And we've had some of our best meetings knocking on doors.
Now, I'm just curious, are we gonna like, and I'll speak for myself more than anything. Given, you know, are we gonna have, or like, not a pitch per se, but talking points in terms of if and when we get in front of folks, you know, just specific talking points that we want to make sure that we hammer to these people?
Yeah, the big thing is, we're supporting bills that are being submitted. Fabricio is submitting a bill, and he's getting co-sponsored with Avila to do it on the Senate side. So the big issue, and then we don't know what the language of the bill is yet, but the big issue is to proper regulate the industry. That's it. You know, we need to coexist. We're not, and we have to harp that we're not here to shut anybody down.
Right.
The challenge that we have is that the miners always go, their lobbyists go right before we go. What a coincidence. And to discredit us. So they talk a lot of nonsense about us. And the first time we did this, we were advised that they literally said that we got a bunch of crazies coming from Miami Lakes with pitchforks and cause a riot in Tallahassee. That is what they said about us, literally. So the big thing is to dispel what's being said about us and the issue. And so if now that's the underlying part. To what you're addressing is if you look at the flyers that we've done, we could stick to that as a script. This is what we're doing. This is what's going on. This is what's happening.
Okay.
And then we could, and as the conversations evolve, obviously per meeting. We talk to the personal side, people are afraid, you know, that the structures are being damaged, period. It's science, it's known. And the pilot program, understand, is not an official reading. But it is a depository of data, a lot. And it's, you can't negate it anymore.
Right.
It's all there. So there's a lot of things that are coming out as if you put it all on the table and read it, then you can get a better understanding. That hasn't been done, nor is it want to be done. So we do that. So no, here, look at the science. This is what it is. And again, it's the evolution of a conversation. But the crux of it all is we're here to coexist. We need to find a common solution that is good for everybody. We're not here to shut anybody down. And that's the main thing. The damage that we're experiencing happens if your home is 50 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 5 years old. It's all the same damage. That's not a coincidence. It's not a builder's issue. It's not a code issue.
Are you gonna go with the deck like you did the last time, or we have like that miniature deck, so to speak?
The printout. Yeah.
Yeah, well, definitely, that's what I'm talking about on the cost. I don't know how much we spent last time.
Well, they print it in-house. If we get it on time, they can print it in-house. So we use better paper so you can see the damage. So it's very fine.
To print one, sorry.
Huh?
Like
What you guys printed for us last time?
Okay,
Those little,
so I'm gonna talk with Claire, so, cause, I think we mentioned this last year, it depends on how many you guys need, 'cause
Right.
if there's a certain amount, we have to. We have to report that to our printing company, then, yes, that affects our costs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we did 100, when it wasn't a crazy amount.
I would say, yeah, 100.
I think it was 100 that we carried. The client's one put in his bag and was hurting.
Right, well, I mean, the first time was the insane amount, like,
Yeah, that was too
those huge folders. This time,
And also we had the folders that, yeah, 10 sheets and whatever.
I was saying, what are we gonna do about this, so that they got the.
Senor.
that logo? Why, man? It's technically not, but. It's GDP.
well, I think it would, is it something? I think, I honestly don't know. Obviously, we adjust the logo and have to submit it for reapproval. If we get it approved, then by the next regular scheduled meeting will be enough time to get everything approved, including seeing if the logo's been reapproved and then printing it out. So I think, next meeting would be almost a month before the trip.
For the
So we can get our
commit,
the
the
logo put on.
council or our meeting?
No, our meeting.
Because we're here to approve, we can approve our logo as well.
Right, we can approve our logo as well. And then it's our meeting that our next meeting next month is enough time between the meeting and the trip that we can get everything to town to get printed out.
The big thing that,
But ultimately, I mean, what we used, I prefer we have our logo, but we used last time had the town logo on it.
Yeah,
So it was town of Miami Lakes, so it was fine. It wasn't.
I mean, yeah, I don't see.
So that logo that we were trying, that you saw that, that was,
Yes, I was gonna say.
That she made some modification, like
Yeah.
slightly, that what we discussed,
Right.
and I think it looks great.
Are you able to go on the trip?
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I just sort of recapping, once Francesca gets here with the vote. We discussed that these dates, we discussed,
Has it been approved, obvious, everybody, they know? or-
No, I was just talking.
We
about-
just-
yeah, I spoke to one of them on the weekend, they know about it. I spoke to Will. So he's aware of the trip, so hopefully, look at that's another thing I wanted to discuss. Is I do think that it makes sense before the trip to make sure we have doesn't have to be a board meeting, a sunshine meeting. Lobbyists, invite council members, and the mayor, whoever wants to show up and just have an open discussion between the board, the lobbyists and council members. Maybe see someone from Fabrizio's office or get Fabrizio on the phone, I don't know.
If they're standing in.
Just so we can all brainstorm on how to get the best possible use out of these 2 days, right? So we would have all Tuesday and all Wednesday business day, because the flight back leaves at 8:30, so we have all day Wednesday as well. So what's the best possibility of those 2 days?
What day are you guys looking to go?
The trip,
13th.
13th, we leave Monday, 13th in the evening,
But this is, sorry, October, November.
November 13th in the evening, November 15th, come back.
Yeah, they were given a heads up by you
Yeah.
guys going, but that's as far as the conversation has gone.
Okay. So if you can let them know,
The lobbyists, we did,
Yes.
give them heads up.
and I don't know, have you spoken to Fabrizio at all about the specific dates? I think he said he liked the.
Well,
Like
the
time.
dates you have here, I think was from his.
Correct.
suggestion.
I think it was his, yeah.
He gave a few suggestions and
Yep.
I think the prior month, the prior week had a holiday. I think this is.
Yes.
This is a good,
It was Veterans Day.
yeah, with better than the prior week. So I think this is and this is also coincides, I believe, with concrete. It's not-
She stopped. ETA is 6:30.
That's horrible.
I'm gonna try calling actually.
Want to know one person,
They're calling.
one person we gotta hit, we gotta see. And I talked to him because I congratulated him over the weekend, as a matter of fact. I think I told you,
Dang.
Daniel Perez.
I mean,
Remember I told you?
Oh,
next speaker of the
yeah,
House.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me, Rudy, come.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah.
And look, we have this issue with me. Come. No, okay, Danny, Come. He's from my old district, he's from Westchester. My old,
Oh, you
my
know,
old, yeah, my old neighborhood. My old neighborhood, so, okay. Very important. I mean, there's a lot of people,
but he's the following.
they'll follow me, yes. Doesn't matter. I mean,
It'd be
for-
nice that we don't need that.
I know, I know,
It would be, but at the same time,
but at the same time,
it's, you gotta talk to them now. So you
Right.
have a chance in 2024.
and to avoid issues, he doesn't have to get into thorns.
Right.
When he starts.
No, 100%. I mean, we obviously want to try to get with anyone we can.
Exactly.
And that's with a lot of these schedule meetings and then reach out to our own contacts and walk and knock as
That's
well.
perfect.
Yeah.
This works.
And we're gonna do-
So I think it's pretty straightforward. So hopefully we'll get somebody here so we can approve this. We have a budget. Courtesy of Raymond.
Yeah.
We got a budget last night.
7,500.
For the trip, for the,
For
Or
us, whatever.
for the fiscal year.
for the, blasting advisory. board. Okay, perfect.
tonight. So
That's not for me. Not for me.
So that makes it a lot easier though. So then we don't have to actually worry about going to the council. Oh, can we please go?
Right.
It's just.
No, I see.
Which-
No,
I mean, they've always given us a.
They're more-
Right,
We never have a
Meeting.
problem. It's just the timing.
Yeah.
and distance.
Now, what we were talking about before, Fabricio, that it appears that there's a good possibility that that's gonna get to committee. The problem is if it gets to committee, we got basically have like 24 hours to get there.
I was gonna say, do we have another scheduled, trip or,
So-
you just took it out of my mouth,
Right.
or we have another trip,
So
which will probably have to be probably in January,
Right,
or
it was two, we were planning on two.
January,
trips
yeah.
For a regular that we're doing.
Yeah.
But then that'll be a third trip if it gets to.
I have to,
Uh,
and do you want to bring more people at that time? I don't know.
to the committee, I don't think it warrants.
Well, the one to committee, one, try to get everyone.
To show the support.
Or I think, do they still allow virtual comments and things like that these days?
I don't know.
I think so.
Obviously, try to get everyone can, in person's better.
Yeah.
But you're going to Tallahassee and spend 2 minutes.
Right.
And obviously, after that, you lobby and
You
speak to
schmooze a bit.
people. Right, but you get your moment for 2 minutes, right?
Right.
Or even less, depending on how many people show up to speak. So, but yeah, I've never had my doubts on that. I would always just go anyway and we'll figure it out later. But now that we have a budget, we can do those things, assuming we can vote on this.
Right.
Which, it's a little frustrating because, in reality, 4 people should be enough. Right now. Anyone heard from Brian or Angel at all?
Never heard from him.
But Andrew, I don't- We got a problem with this, by the way.
Why you could be important. You're waiting for.
Just kidding. Do you know where the sheriff's committee is meeting?
I think it's here at 6,
Oh,
so
and
yeah,
Yeah, we have, there's 2 people that haven't been for quite some time now.
Wow,
I don't know how long, and so we can take a look,
4 months.
but we would have more.
And more,
No, I'm just
yes.
going.
Brian's been 4 months, Angel's been a lot more than that.
So, that creates a problem.
A question for you guys.
Yeah.
In terms of, I know what you want is to meet with the lobbyists around what, I guess, week are we looking to do that?
I guess after our second time, after our third meeting, I guess.
It really,
Time and-
I don't think it matters the regular meeting per se. I think it matters more so when the bill is decided what route it's taken. So then
I
we
guess
get
closer to the trip.
Yeah,
I guess, end of October.
end of
Done for the-
October, beginning of November.
Yeah,
Do you want me to leave it open like that, to ask them when,
Yeah.
what date
Yeah.
on that works for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And then.
And let them know that we're waiting on the bills to be submitted, so they'll know the route, you know, they'll know the game at that point.
Right.
That'd be nuts, it's bad.
Did Angela pick up or no?
You can do formal.
With Angela, it's gonna go.
No, in person.
Yeah, only the council gets to be on.
But that doesn't mean quorum, though,
You need to have, I think,
in person.
right, you have to have the quorum in person, then you can vote. Right, you can't even do that though, I think only, I mean, you can't, there's no like virtual things that you know.
Not official.
You're right, yeah, you
They
still
can
need, you
participate, but
still
not.
need, it was, I guess, four, I need my four of them change it, right?
Is there a new logo or not? Finally, or-
Um,
Sorry, sir, until the bills are.
the bills are, routed. Francesca submitted the logo to the town. Any word on the town? From the town's perspective?
The email, yeah, I was copied in that, I haven't seen the response.
That was on September 19th.
No.
No, this was an updated email.
Oh, not did it. Okay. I didn't see that.
She just sent it. This way.
Who sent it?
Francesca.
Should- You shouldn't be.
That's why I didn't get it.
But yeah, I think she sent it today or yesterday.
Yes, sir. I mean, I could show this.
Yeah,
You
it's the
sent it?
same,
Oh, every se- yeah,
an updated,
it just doesn't have the.
So it's the updated outline.
I guess the question is. Is it just going to say blasting advisory board, is like Miami Lakes logo on top?
well, that was, I think, part of what they were talking about in the email, her and
Right.
Carousel, because what she showed at the meeting last time was with the Miami
Right.
logo, and that's kind of what you guys approved.
Correct.
But now she's saying that it's without it. You guys need to vote on that.
Well, no, I told Claricel that the logo, the town's logo is the town's logo. However, on a letterhead, if we were submitted, it's like what we have. That says the town, then it's a blasting advisory board, which is the example that Francesca was bringing.
Right, but you guys agreed on that. What I'm saying is that was like some sort of mix of both. It wasn't like the logo separate. It was kind of incorporated into the logo.
It wasn't
way
part of the
was
logo.
shown.
It wasn't part of the logo.
The way it was shown on the screen,
But it wasn't, it was just for reference. It wasn't part of the logo.
right, but I didn't get that because if for reference, you would have used the same town logo, and that town logo looks like it had been.
It was,
edited.
right. That
So
was-
that's where the confusion came.
that
I
was
guess
another
that,
issue.
that's my question. If you leave the town logo obviously completely alone. you don't
Yeah.
touch
You
it.
can't touch the town.
Right, you can't touch it, but can you put it on top of our logo?
We can use, yeah, we do that with committees where we
Right.
use our logo and the committee logo.
Right,
That's
that's what
not
I'm
a
saying.
problem.
Don't touch the town logo, but,
Yeah.
because you can't just say Blasting Advisor, you gotta put Miami Lakes
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah, we can use
Either
the
rewrite it
logos.
ourselves.
I don't know who would stack them that way, but yes, it can be incorporated into the same document. That's not a problem.
Or
What
can,
we've done in the past is that the logo that we had, we put on either side to put.
Yeah, that's what they would do. They like, that's how we normally do like flyers for other committees when we have to do events and stuff. We do town logo on one side and we do the committee.
Oh,
logo on
one
the
Maybe
other
the other side.
side.
We did,
Or both on top,
Yeah, like this.
next to each other.
Last advisory board.
yeah, that works.
but I mean, the actual logo, our logo is just, would be just.
It'll be just that.
Right, I get it.
Straight over the canal and then go back. So we have a approval. We've been back and forth. Finally, I didn't have a lot, bit that they wanted, we had a proposal, not from the court.
So on the budget, we might not even need to spend the $500. Or
For printing,
depending on how many we need to print, right? Is there anything else we would need to bring it up and stuff?
I mean, it was a great idea what Brian had.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I mean, that was his,
I can set up the second.
do it again,
I think he said it's still working,
I don't know.
but I easily can set up the same thing where we can drag and share and whatnot. That's not a problem.
That was nice.
Yeah, no, that worked a lot. That worked. And then once we know who we're, typically, I would go ahead, do a little write-ups, make sure we know who we're talking to, which we did last time. And, see what happens.
I mean, we have something we've done before. If we were to bring it again, I think again, it kind of gets redundant.
So you want like a refresh,
And
flyer and everything?
I'm questioning,
I think it's a good idea if you wanna present something about the next meeting, a refresh.
Well, I
This
thought
is,
what
this,
you're doing,
well, what I'm doing from the last meeting is making, and I think Francisca emailed some comments, to you, share.
Yeah,
I'm making like the tone down, and she really toned it down, like she made it like a campaign flyer. Like, blasting's bad, this is why it's bad, tell me learn more, and honestly, that's the way you're supposed to do it, like, come on, you see what you get in the mail from anybody. It's not, I wanna make the millage rate lower because this is the way to roll it, it's, I wanna make your taxes lower. And that's what gives me, so I understand your concerns, but she's looking at it and she used to work in public, she's looking at it completely different. The one that we wanna send, that we wanna carry around city capital is what you want, is detail, analysis, maybe something that speaks to them a little bit, but we're giving this to staff and elected, officials. They should be able to comprehend what we're saying.
I
But
think
I think the refresh is a good idea.
the only thing that on your, well, I guess the discussion on what you've written, it's just the minor edits, like you say mining rock, we'll just take out rock, just say it's not mining.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You're right.
Stuff like that was very minor things, but I think they're significant in
But
the big picture.
I agree, but I don't think that's what we're giving these guys anyway. I think I think a good idea would be to do a refresh of the flyer that we sent, that we used last year.
Right.
And update it with anything, any new information, all the discussions we've had over the last 6 months, what more should we put in that flyer? So then we can get it printed out and maybe make it look a little different on this thing again. I agree with you 100%. People will remember it.
And then, no, it's different.
Let's make it look different. Maybe even put in, legislative set, put something that says this is for this, that.
different colors?
Yeah,
Because you want it to be different.
so it pops at you.
And make it, and put something in there, maybe that on top, this is meant for this session.
Halloween, love it.
So that's a good idea, maybe something to.
What
think about.
ideas do you guys have? Because I mean, my influence is doing it, it has my influence on it, but it's coming from me. So from your perspective, what do you think?
It's, I mean, I agree, it's gotta look a little different. I think something needs to make it focus that we're aiming for. I guess we don't know the bills yet specifically, but refresh it right away with specific bill numbers.
Yeah,
Refresh it.
maybe cater to whatever the.
Cater to that language, cater it to this legislative session. And any new data we've gotten from the pilot program that we don't have in that thing. Maybe put in, these are recent lasts, put in an Excel, these are the readings of these.
Or you can see it's from the last time we were just on that, we've had X number of more complaints, which is a X-fold increase from this time to last time.
Talk about the complaints.
I think, talk about it, but the reality is they're dying out. Because people are tired of, not getting.
But dying out from last time we at Tallahassee to now, and they might be dying out year over year. I don't think they, right, but I think from the last trip to Tallahassee, which was in February last year to now. How were the complaints?
No, it's like over 10,000 complaints.
That's what you're talking about.
But we can just see the data from last last visit till now, how many complaints we've gotten. And then you could also do versus this time last year, just to
I wouldn't
see.
even do, I would give total amount.
I just keep filling up.
Because,
This many complaints have been filed in the last year, things like that that we didn't have in the last,
Right.
yeah,
more numbers.
Yeah, quantify,
Right.
quantify the,
Because our whole point, the first time we went to get the pilot program was we want the data, we need the data. And now we're starting to get the data, so let's use the data to our advantage.
how many pages are you gonna keep it back to?
we gotta keep it small.
That's what I was gonna get, that's what I'm getting.
I mean, what was it from the back last year or
We
2
did,
pages?
we did like 5 sheets last.
Yeah.
5 sheets?
Yeah, I think it's 5 sheets. That's
So
fine.
I guess that does need an overview, a refresh, something that we have to look at the next meeting.
What about the 2-pager, front and back,
That's what we're talking about.
So
Yeah,
that would
I
be one of
think-
the pages.
I think that's it. That's my opinion,
Update that though.
update that.
Yeah, I gotta update that.
That's all, that's what I would do.
I don't know what else you include on
No,
this.
I would.
The less, the less
That's what I would
merrier,
do.
especially, and honestly, I think what you wanted, I don't know if 100 is enough. Because every time you meet with the rep, oh, right, here you go, oh, the front desk, here you go. You gotta try to, you want them to be tired of seeing
Yeah.
these blasting things.
I mean, you remember when it's like, oh, I got your thing.
Yeah.
How'd you get it? We haven't been here. From the
Uh,
people we saw in the morning, were handing out in their breaks, to the break room, to the, and people saw me. They gave it to me. How'd you get it? Right. So I'm looking to see if it was out. It was good. It was working. I'd love to have some sort of input from with the professor, the presentation we came, the guy from UM. Yeah, that's so,
That might be a little too technical.
no, not the actual thing, but to show that science is proving that the structures are moving at a radial form from a source. That's simple.
You wouldn't wanna have that in your back pocket as a conversation, when you're having conversations with these folks?
It,
You know?
I mean, it's a conversation, yeah, but can you imagine,
No, putting that, you're gonna lose it, because what?
yeah, it's like,
Yeah, that jargon is too much.
like literally a map, all these buildings move there, what's in the middle? Real visual. It's a circle, a wagon wheel. But that study hasn't been done yet,
Right.
so we can't say it.
Tony,
Hey,
I don't know if you were on the way to town hall or not, but, one of the people that we confirmed that were coming, they just canceled like 2 minutes ago for the,
They're core together.
they lost 4.
Okay, so.
they have.
They don't have quorum, so we don't have to get done.
Well. It's scheduled till 6 and I have.
Yeah.
You want to see Michelle?
Can we schedule four, we make four of you the whole way? If we just wait.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, we kind of like it needs to be recorded.
You know, you guys need-
Yeah.
At least that's, I mean, that's, we do that for all the committee.
Right, I get it.
You do need a lead.
Right. Sure, somebody. Yeah.
No, that's really bad.
Did you get the call?
Yeah.
You didn't pick up.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes to go with the you can get,
Anything else to discuss? Hopefully, yeah.
You need 48-hour notice,
For like, for a special call.
we're not to do it again.
Yeah, but we need to make sure people can actually like get a roll call. I think we're allowed to speak to everybody. We can reach out to people, are you available? That's.
Yeah, as long as it's not anything, okay, as long as it's something that you're coming up for discussion or.
Yeah, we need one more.
My suggestion to you, but obviously you're, apart from this meeting, I think just in general, you're struggling with forum. As you know, per the rules, we can't appoint people just because they're absent, but I would encourage you to talk to your elected officials, because they're the only,
Yeah.
well, appointing one, they're the only ones that can do anything.
The thing is, we have in the past, and that's when excused absences were submitted immediately and we leave, and for nothing changed. So it's a problem, significant problem, and it will be a topic of discussion at the chair meeting. Big one.
That was a recent rule change, right? Why did?
What's-
why did-
Well, it was actually changed for that. same
What is that
reason.
meeting?
That example, that happened throughout most committees, so then it kind of came back on that we were doing it correctly when. But now we're hearing the frustration. on
What you
that.
guys had was perfect. You didn't get it from me. I defended you
Yeah,
guys.
but it's different across all committees.
Right, I mean. I-
What's the quarterly meeting?
haven't told rules. That's it.
Quarterly meeting.
It's coming up.
I don't-
Next week.
Yeah, the chair meeting
I think
is
it's the.
next week on, I believe it's
Tuesday. Tuesdays.
Tuesday, October 3rd at 6:30.
We're, at this point, we discussed, I'm just sort of taking a vote, we really need to.
I think
So then.
Can you vote or do you have to?
So then I can call you and we can. vote.
But what about doing the edits? Any edits that come up?
I mean, we've openly discussed this, we're allowed to discuss what.
Are you
like
guys
for
gonna have a
report.
meeting? No.
So I suggest.
So it's just gonna be a discussion meeting? So they're still having a meeting, they're doing the same as you.
Right. Bring it to us, make the changes, I mean, we can't talk about it outside of this meeting. But. Bring it, and I'm sure we'll work through it.
It's, I mean, I think they're simple, but I think they're significant.
And then, yeah, I prefer to do this as quick as possible, because the airfare is the only thing that really changes. The hotel.
I mean, well, maybe they, but I doubt that.
And the only thing that changes is airfare, but it can change drastically.
Yeah.
It can go from 280 a person, 500 a person. Probably won't, but you never know. So that's why I prefer to do it sooner than later. We could potentially wait for the next.
Or to go and do some more.
We could potentially wait for the next regular scheduled meeting if we can't all just figure out in 15 minutes or
I
alive.
think it's gonna change between now and the next meeting with.
It will change.
Yeah.
It will change.
What the-
Because then we're getting only a month out.
Yeah,
We wait till the next meeting, it's gonna change.
no, yeah.
We literally need 10 minutes of one other person's time.
Yeah.
And I don't care who it is.
So I'm gonna ask Kyle to see what's the next available.
Yeah.
I mean, we could even just like piggyback it after 8 o'clock, after 7 o'clock meeting, just call it for 8:15, like anything, we need 10 minutes, just to do the quickest meeting. We could- we
We
could-
check the next available time.
I mean, no, we need 48 hours later, so then it needs to be scheduled. for that
Yeah,
as well.
get you time.
I'll go see you later.
You good?
Why did they, no,
What, is she still far out or what?
Please don't do it Friday.
Friday's good, you said?
No. Please don't do it Friday.
No.
Just part of it.
no,
No,
availability.
I'm asking for
Yeah.
these.
Ah,
John's trying to be important now.
no, I have you guys holding.
Did you guys adjourn?
No, no, yeah.
I'm seeing it, if Francesca's like around the corner. Or not.
Yeah, I have a scheduled rest, so once my ready's here, I do have to, because I was only planning.
No, no,
until 6.
understood.
I'm just letting-
I see how it is.
No, because I don't want you to then, have her drive in and then you don't
No.
even get anything out.
Well, that's what I wanna see, is she like around the corner? or
Right,
not?
if she's 5 minutes away, then maybe we'll take the chance, but understood, we'll adjourn once you have to go. And-
We may have to give Iowa Rider ourselves.
No.
Steve
But-
making dinner.
I already sent the email to the lobbyists, letting them
Okay.
know that you guys do want to wait until those are routed. But in the meantime, I asked for their availability when they come down to town hall.
Sure.
Last week of October, first week of November.
Do they come often, like they, bless you, hey, like with the frequency that they come, last week of the month or something like that, or it's just when you guys call them, they show up?
I have no idea, but I don't deal with them, so I have no idea.
Mm.
I mean, it would be possible for them to call in as well. This would be a discussion, not necessarily a meeting. I guess we could make it a meeting, but we don't even need to.
But if you remember, I
Notice
think
that.
last year, if you guys are, if it's more than one committee member, which I assume you want more than
Yeah,
one,
no,
then
of
we
course.
do have to sunshine it.
No, we'll sunshine it, and the other thing I would request when we get the meeting date is you send a meeting, an email out to all the council members
Okay,
and the mayor. But I guess my question is, do we need to notice it as a meeting, or we just notice it as a sunshine meeting, as discussion between the board? It doesn't make a difference, we can always convert.
I
meeting
think
to
it's
a
okay, it can
discussion.
be a sunshine, I'll confirm, but why are you asking exactly in terms of what changes, like?
No, I guess nothing changes, just a matter of, we're not expecting quorum, we're here just to discuss.
Yeah, so that the quorum doesn't affect you. I guess the
Right, we're not
difference-
expecting,
Yeah.
that. I'm not expecting quorum at that meeting,
Okay,
let's just put it that way.
okay,
The point is to probably get the four of us, honestly.
Well, but we gotta make
We're gonna
this
be
happen.
quorum.
We
No,
got,
no, I'm.
but this is separate
This
than.
is separate.
I know, I know.
When we meet with the
Generally speaking.
lobbyists and the council, we don't need one, doesn't matter.
right,
And
I'm not voting on it.
I don't wanna sit there with lobbyists, oh, you know, we're waiting for, I don't want them to think it's a meeting either. I want them to know, all we're doing is we wanna get your input, so we're ready when we need.
Just that
And,
is
and,
essentially.
right, it's some sunshine, same with the council members, so then we can have multiple council members here as well.
Right.
So that's why I'd rather call it a sunshine meeting, because then it's really disclosed that there's multiple council members coming and things like that, assuming they're coming. So we can all just get our thoughts out there, it's an open discussion, maybe to get the public in. Get a little bit of momentum on whatever that is, probably do it at like a 5 o'clock or something.
Later the better.
Yeah, I prefer the later better.
You're coming.
Yeah, no,
Where you come from?
Brooklyn.
You live in Brooklyn?
No, of course not. Better not live in Brooklyn. No, but my office in Brooklyn, so yeah, it's a trek.
When you messaged
I
me that
know.
you're late, running late, I was jumping into the shower.
No,
I
right, and you still got
stopped the
here.
machine and it's
20
like,
minutes.
I know.
is it?
So,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. I just want the purpose of that meeting to be very clear. It's a meant to just discuss.
Right.
But first we gotta, get a meeting, if Francisco's getting here in the next 3 minutes and book the trip. We'll have a regular meeting in October. Yeah, I guess it would be the 5. I mean, Angelo will come, make sure he gets here. At that meeting, maybe you present the refresh, so then we can approve it and get that
We
printed.
should have the bills.
Hopefully the
language
bills will
right.
be lined up already.
But we have to.
They won't be routed.
No, but if we have the refresh, it's be based on the bill.
Right, based on some information.
I mean, we could always approve, you to add the bill the second we know the exact, exact bill number, house number. And then, yeah, we just gotta, that's it. And we have that meeting before to prepare and we're good to go. And then November meeting, we'll probably want to discuss the January trip.
Yeah.
And if something happens in between, then so be it.
I think it'll be very helpful to have the first trip and in the rear window mirror ready to prepare for the next meeting, the next trip to see.
Yeah,
what-
so the next January meeting, I haven't already have my calendar, would be on the 20th, so it'll be the week after, that Monday after we come back. So it's not bad. And
What were the dates for the concrete days? You
I
remember?
thought it was these dates.
I think it's.
For the same day.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's gonna make it harder to get meetings, or maybe it'll make it easier, and then, yeah, I don't know how.
Or we may be wearing concrete shoes on the plane. You can't sit here, sir. Come on.
Yeah, November 13th, 14th, so the 15th will be our more open day. They're there Monday, Tuesday. No, let me make sure, actually, maybe this was last year.
Where is it at?
I'm just looking at the Concrete
It's in Tallahassee?
Coalition of Florida, Concrete Days, November 13th, 14th, Tallahassee.
November 13, 14, Tallahassee. Yeah, that's what I got here. Yeah. Let me go through our line.
I mean, they're not doing, lechon, machine or
No,
something,
that's not,
Yeah, that's Dave Day.
that's dated.
but you know,
Masha had paella.
it'd be nice.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
barbecue action or something.
Did she pick up or not?
Doesn't have either.
Yeah, it's a tough, the rain, I guess, doesn't help. But I don't think the others were coming anyway, so. The rain's not an excuse at this point.
No,
And she did tell us last time, when we were trying to set up a date that she, that one of these dates where it's.
she's been, well, I mean, she's been messaging me from there, she's like. The speaker, keynote speaker wasn't even in the building when the thing started.
Right.
Wow, they're running late.
Yeah, because I got it.
So we should, I'll go in, is what you're saying?
Yeah, if she's not coming, you're right, I mean, obviously, you're right here.
Well, they're on the way, so.
You're in
Realistically,
charge.
though, we've had 20 minutes over the meeting time at this point. You know, and just to comply with sunshine and what we posted, we did mention a 5 to 6 p.m. meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Good.
So we'll conclude then,
Yeah.
Our special call meeting that we have.
I can check for you, I mean,